question was thinking about, it was from Jigsaw Charity, and they asked, given the strong correlation between maintaining family ties while in prison and reducing reoffending, how can PCCs and their approaches to reoffending better engage and support organisations to help people stay engaged with their family? Mark Johnson, are you happy to go first on that one?
I'll give you so there's a report done last year on Beyond Youth Custody, and it said 91% of young violent offenders, reported early childhood abuse. And I think Jason Murphy mentioned it in his intro, and I'm myself as well, come from, a place of early childhood abuse. And so through being incarcerated, there was no family to revert back to. If you've got a healthy family unit, and most people in policy or, driving this, come from kind of functional families, or most, I'd say. And most people in the system proportionally come from dysfunctional families. and so this idea of like what a family is it needs to be seen in its true light, which is a lot more complex than just saying, oh, support families to people to go back to. I think the recommendation for me, and reading through the report, is the PCC should take more of an insight and more to articulate the full picture of this more, and grasp the nettle, and really tackle this issue. And it should be like, what is a healthy link? Yeah, both Jason said they've had the teachable moment. Who can support that? And as a society, we absolutely should all be focused on investing in the reintegration of people coming out of prison. And in order to do that, we need to have healthy connections and give them opportunity, encouragement, support in doing that. And it doesn't matter where it comes from.
I think the question, and Jigsaw are obviously a really good local organisation who do some great work with young people and parents who are in prison. And there's no doubt that if that correlation is maintained while people are in prison, the reoffending rate tends to be much lower. Although, as Jason said earlier, the concept of a family now can be quite different to what it was a few years ago. So I think as a PCC, we need to work with communities and organisations that address those individual circumstances as much as possible. And quite interestingly, during the COVID period, for example, we know that prison visits have virtually ceased because of the restrictions. But I know that some work has been doing around having regular video link contact, for example, with members of families, that has sort of helped to normalise some of that communication link. And maybe that's one of the good lessons we could learn around how we utilise that new technology to sort of try and normalise some of those relationships, even in really difficult times. And I know there's been some good work in Newhall Prison, which is the women's prison in West Yorkshire, exploring some of that work.